This is round 4 of a 4-round Swiss tournament we had at Portland Game Store in Portland, Oregon. The top of the screen is a local player named Bobby playing a Geomancer deck, and then I'm at the bottom of the screen playing a Mono Fire Druid deck. So I'm on the play, tapping for a desert, pings itself, and then summons Tawny past turn. Geomancer plays a village, creates the token, creates a rubble, and then go past turn. Starting this game against Geomancer, I mean, I wasn't entirely sure what to expect against this deck. I don't have to play Geomancer as much these days. It is not as popular an avatar as it perhaps was in the past. So at this point, I'm not entirely sure if I'm seeing a variation of a Roots of Yggdrasil deck, or if I'm just seeing a generic kind of Earth ramp into kind of top end deck. I play Sinkhole into the center as my second play. Turn 2 play, and then advance Tawny and pass turn. I play the Sinkhole center just because one of the things that can really gum up the Fire Druid deck list is Pebbled Paths. So I wanted that Sinkhole kind of in the center where its effect could reach the most probable locations for a Pebble Path if he had it or drew into it. Geomancer's ability a little chaotic just because he's slightly beholden to kind of top decking the Atlas whenever he's used tapping for the ability and replacing Rubble. Beginning my third turn here, attacking with Tawny for a point of damage, ignoring the Foot Soldier, tapping for Smokestacks to play the Smokestacks out to the left of the Sinkhole. The Smokestacks are going to deactivate the Sinkhole, but they are also going to kind of ensure that it is difficult for him to get a Pebbled Path out in that area nearby. 3 mana at the end of my turn, or 3 mana on my turn for Kobold. Kobold will strike and kill the Foot Soldier at end of turn. Geomancer again playing out a village, creating rubble, choosing not to pay the 1 to create that Foot Soldier token, and instead using the 3 mana in his mana pool to summon a Root Spider to the center under the windmill, which not a bad play. It is a good location for a Root Spider to be in control of the board there. It already comes in. It disables my Tawny, which could potentially be difficult for me. Typically as a druid player, you want access to Tawny. You want to be able to make best use of that piece on the board. I am tapping. I think I drew Sight for turn 4, and I'm tapping to play a Sight. It's a desert. It's outside of the range of Smokestacks, so the Genesis will trigger. Targeting the windmill. The way that the effect stack resolves is that the Sight comes into play, Genesis triggers. I choose the target for the Genesis. It resolves and kills Tawny, and then the Sight is cast. And when the Sight is cast, the Druid's ability procs, and since there's no Tawnies that I control on the board, it summons Tawny to that desert. 3 mana with 3 fire threshold to cast Morgana. I can't make use of her hand on this turn just because it took 3 mana out of 3 out of 4 of my mana just to bring her in, but it creates a threat that Bobby's gonna have to deal with here. He taps the Geomancer, top decks Holy Sight, which will heal him back up to 20. And then I'm just cleaning up here, just because at end of turn the kobolds had to strike something, and so I had them strike the. I would have had them strike Tawny anyways, but they strike Tawny to remove that. 4 mana in his mana pool on this turn, and he's got a second Root Spider. So he's got a second Root Spider threatening to close in on Morgana, and he has a Root Spider already in play that he now moves under the sinkhole to disable the kobolds. Beginning my turn here, I draw a spell for turn. And I'm contemplating my options here and how best I can navigate around these Root Spiders. And you can't see my my main hand. I'm holding Morgana's hand right now, but what I have in my hand, in my primary hand as the player, is I believe a Lava Flow. So Lava Flow will deal damage to everything above and below the sights within its range. So I'm thinking kind of ahead in turns about how I can best make use of that to remove these Root Spiders, which are just going to continue to be problematic for me if left unchecked. And I don't have a lot of other ways to kill them besides, I think, the Lava Flows in this deck. So this turn, what I'm choosing to do is make use of at least one card in Morgana's hand before it kind of gets sacrificed. I'm assuming that Bobby's play is going to, on the next turn, is going to be to move his Root Spider forward, disable Morgana, and then kind of line up the spiders with under the smokestacks and sinkhole sites. So I choose to spend my 4 mana on that turn, play the Saracen from hand, and then attack for 3 points of damage. And I think technically what I did was not a legal play, just because Saracen can be summoned to any site, but it can't have a minion or an enemy on it. So I think I played it onto that village and then attacked in, because it also has charge. But it's a minor illegal play, because there's I could have just summoned it also to the holy site or the windmill, and attacked in to the same square. Bobby, I think, asked a really quick question about what happens if he disables Morgana. He just wanted to know if he moved under Morgana, disabled that minion, if it trashes her hand because she no longer has the ability, or if it just kind of like freezes it and prevents her from accessing it and using it while she's disabled. And I was pretty sure at the time, like I said, I'm pretty sure at the time that it just suspends the hand. But we kind of, we double checked with some of the other players around us, and we looked it up on kind of the rules channel and the official server for confirmation. So this is just us taking a minute to kind of double check and confirm that. He's playing out an observatory to look at the next 3 spells on his spell deck, put them back, spellbook, put them back in any order. So he's gonna layer out his next 3 turns from the spell book. And then he's sitting on 5 mana in his pool, choosing to move the root spider forward, and then using a berry to take care of the Saracen Raider. So, a pretty good turn for Bobby. Like, just being able to control, having 2 great root spiders on the board in this matchup, kind of disabling everything on my side of the table, is pretty powerful. And honestly, if I didn't have that lava flow in my hand right now, I would be pretty worried about it. Just because I don't think my deck has any alternative solutions to dealing with root spiders in there. Bobby's last play for the turn is to play a common sense and search up a grapple shot into his hand. So I'm feeling pretty confident about my next turn here, just because the way that he's lined up these root spiders, given the positioning of everything for the past 2 turns, allows me to draw a site, play a site, summon Tawny to it, and then if I played that site next to Smokestacks, Tawny would be in position to cast that lava flow and clear out both of those root spiders. So I think that's what I'm doing. I pulled the Forge. I'm going to play it, not create the lance because I need all 5 mana. Summon Tawny. And then lava flow out from Tawny's site. So from Tawny's site out, it will like hit 3 sites. It's going to deal 5 for 2 points of damage, I believe, to everything on the site. And the way that lava flow is worded, it's everything on site, not everything here within a region. So everything above and or below those chosen sites. So that clears out kind of what I had on the board as well. I do have to lose Morgana. I do have to lose the kobolds, but it is worth it to remove those spiders, just because it would be very problematic if I left those on the table and just gave him the ability to control the board in that fashion. Geomancer playing out Village, paying the 1 to create the token. 5 mana left in his mana pool for a Dapperel Vampire. Again, a Dapperel Vampire, a little scary, just because it it helps him stabilize the board. Every time it strikes, it's going to heal him. If I can, I'm looking for ways to kind of remove it and deal with that threat immediately. And then here, Bobby realizing that the village would have been disabled coming into play, because it's coming into play near the smokestacks. So he takes back that token generation. And then I also misspoke a minute ago, just because I was talking about whether or not to create the lance, and it didn't matter. Even if I did want to create the lance, I wouldn't have been able to, because the sight ability would have been disabled from smokestack. Smokestack effect is an ability that is often overlooked when it hits the board. It's easy to kind of forget that it's there. And that's kind of an example of something that we talk about a lot when we talk about sorcery and how sorcery plays, is that, like, it plays out on this grid in like a board, and you can create a lot of complicated board states because of that. And you know, like there's just a lot of things affecting a lot of different areas of the board, and if both players aren't super paying attention to kind of what is there and how it is there, it's easy to overlook some of those abilities. Attacking in with Tawny for a point of damage, getting it into position so I can then cast Firebolts and a Minor Explosion to remove the vampire. I mean, in a perfect world, I feel bad about having to spend like 2 burn spells to table the vampire, but I felt it was better to immediately remove that threat versus letting it run rampant for a turn or two. Just like I can't let him like have that piece on board and continue to heal every time it defends or strikes. 6 mana from the Geomancer to play Arita. And I mean, Arita, another huge threat. At this point, I feel like, you know, he's probably just playing like a Geomancer ramp deck, so he's gotten up into, you know, a 7 mana pool here without having to kind of draw additional sites on his own for the most part, and is now able to just cast out larger things on curve at the top end. So Rita, another super problematic piece that I need to come up with a solution for here. Tawny is unable to untap, but fortunately Tawny is in position nearby, and I spend Disintegrate from my hand to banish Rita. That was 3 mana out of my 5 mana mana pool. I don't have another play, so I'm going to pass turn. But I consider that resources well spent to take that piece off of the board. Just because it would have been a very difficult piece to deal with. In general, his top end, if he has a lot of like 5s and 6s on his top end here on his Earth deck, is a little difficult for my deck to work with. My deck is like my average power is a little lower to the ground. He drew into his 3rd Root Spider and is now playing his Root Spider out under that village to disable Tawny. 3 mana for the Root Spider, 3 mana for a Unicorn. Tapping for a site with his avatar and then passing turn. Tawny untaps but is disabled. Drawing a spell for turn on my turn here. So now I have to figure out a way to probably deal with the Unicorn. Deal with get Tawny back maybe in some way. If there's a way that I can ping Tawny, ideally, then I can resummon it. I can resummon it the next time I play a site. The trick is figuring out how to get that ping off. Tapping for a desert to deal 1 point to the Unicorn. And then I have a Minor Explosion. Looks like I'm getting ready to play that. Yeah, I'm going to play that for the next 3 points of damage to remove the Unicorn. And now, because I have 3 mana left in my mana pool, 3 points for a red cap, and attacking into his village for 3 points. I chose to play the red cap over there, adjacent to the spider. I don't know if that was the best play or not. Like, I could have also attacked into the observatory farther away from the spider, but I wanted to give him the choice of moving to disable the red cap with the spider and freeing up Tawny, which he looks like he does decide to do. I think he's using the blink just so he can cycle and draw another card, because he didn't have to use the blink to get there. He could have just moved the spider. But I think he cycles to draw a card. Frees up Tawny. I don't remember. I don't think he has a way to kill kill Tawny on this turn. So I think Tawny sticks around. He's paying another 2 for a common sense. So that's 4 mana spent. Currently 3 mana left in his mana pool. He's common sensing for a kettle top. I don't know what else. I don't know what he has left in his deck at the ordinary rarity level. But because he's common sensing for a kettle top, I take that to mean there's not much left in there. There's not that much left in the tank, and he maybe doesn't quite have the minions in hand, and he needs a little bit of board presence. So that would be my guess as to why he searched up the kettle top at that point. Tapping his Geomancer to play Village using that last point of mana, or I guess he had 2 he had 2 mana left in his mana pool, but paying 1 for the Genesis to create the token. Red Cap untaps. It is disabled, so it can't move and attack or use any abilities. But because it has no abilities, that means it's not going to automatically die because it can't attack on this turn. So at least there's that. Pulling a spell, drawing a spell for turn. Tawny is free. Attacking up for a point of damage onto the holy site. Holy ground, excuse me. Both to just push in a point of damage just because it's there, and also to get in range for potential spell casting if needed onto the Geomancer. Moving my druid, and I think I think about placement here a little carefully. I'm trying to remember what I do, because I think what I'm trying to do on this turn is cast an Infernal Legion for 6 mana. So the Infernal Legion, there aren't a ton of places on the board that I can cast that and not have to take 3 points of damage from the druid without moving. But I think the calculation that I'm making in my head is that I'm currently at 20 health. I can take I can take like a self-immolate from the Infernal Legion for 3 points of damage. And it's going to create a huge threat for him to have to deal with. So if he doesn't have like any more berries or answers in his hand, this is going to be very, very difficult for him to deal with. It's a minimum of 6 points attacking in if he doesn't have a blocker on his next turn here. He did get the sight draw from the Leprechaun. I felt a little more secure giving him those sight draws at this point in the game. Just, he has so much mana already, and he's kind of landlocked himself into a position where even if he was trying to play a Roots deck, he doesn't have the space to play a Sinkhole to activate Roots of Yggdrasil if he gets it out. He moves up and attacks with the Foot Soldier onto my desert for a point of damage, and then he casts Pillar of Zyros, which was a good catch for him from the Atlas. It banishes out 8 minions from both of our cemeteries and heals him back up to 20. So a great life swing for him, just off of that sight play. And then unfortunately, like if he can't take care of the Infernal Legion, it is going to put a lot of like pressure and a turn timer onto him here. He takes a step with the spider. He's got to move the spider now to kind of try to start intercepting the Infernal Legion. That is going to free up my red cap for kind of an undefended swing onto his site next turn here, and I think I get lucky on this turn, and I draw a spell, and I top deck into a Boudica. So I play Boudica, and I think that's enough to do 20 points of damage on one turn here. And I just had, I had to think about it for a minute on the video, because it's a lot of math that I have to do here, and I just want to make sure that it actually is 20 points of damage. So I'm just double checking, kind of the math configuration, right? It's like Infernal Legion moves up, it's going to smack for like 6 + 3, which is 9, and it's going to combust at the end of turn for another 3 points of damage onto the Geomancer. So that's like 12 points just with the Infernal Legion, plus Tawny hits for 4, and then red caps for 6. And then I think we make some mistakes. I didn't have to move up the Druid and take three points of damage from the Legion. I think I did because I wanted to get into a checkmate position, and I was willing to absorb that damage. Tawny should have died at the end of turn from the Legion. I think that was another play error that I made here, or just like a suboptimal play for me. I didn't have to swing Tawny onto that side. I could have just swung it onto the Holy Ground instead, and not taken the damage and killed Tawny potentially. I don't think it super matters here at the end of the game. Though, but Bobby moving the spider to disable the Infernal Legion, because he has to. He has to turn that off. Otherwise, I could just walk up and then combust for 3 points to kill him. He's gonna go ahead and pay 2 to kill Tawny, which again, like Tawny should have died on the previous turn. I think we didn't catch that at the end. I think he's gonna move. Yeah, I would have been surprised if he hadn't moved there. And then he was just he repositioned where he summoned the vampire, because he hadn't passed turn yet, and that's fine. So I'm gonna start my turn here now, and I need a kill spell, or a combination of spells to end the game at this point. I haven't flipped the Druid yet. Red caps have to attack this turn. I think what I end up doing is moving the red caps to the other village and attacking that, and then yeah, I don't 100% remember. Looking at what I have in hand. I saw a Torse Hammer. I think I have a pact with the devil. So that must have been what I drew into on this turn. I'm moving the red caps in and attacking. He's choosing not to block with the vampire, just in case I have a way to kill kill the vampire. What I probably should have done is put the Torse Hammer on that red cap from the get-go, just to for sure threaten to remove the vampire if he blocked. second red cap over there on the other side just to position and help dictate where the Geomancer can run to. Moving Boudica up and then passing turn. I think what I am considering here on this turn, I'm planning out my next turn, is playing a site to get Tawny back, so I can then play the Pact with the Devil to draw more cards. Just because I need to go fishing here for a kill spell. So at this point in time, that I'm pretty sure that is my train of thought, depending on kind of how this turn plays out. He's gonna attack in to the red caps with the vampire, and that's fine. I just, like, again, I think what I was thinking at that point in time is just like, the red caps move in to threaten, but if he wants to remove them on his turn with the vampire, like, he has to move the vampire and change position on it. He's moving the spider under Boudica and then casting a Titan, which is potentially pretty scary here. Titan strikes the Legion to remove the Legion off the board. Attacking in for 1, and then he chooses to move his Geomancer back to his home site, I think, to create more space between him and the red cap powers. So like I said, on this turn, I think what I was thinking before was that I'd tap for a site, get Tawny out, play the Pact of the Devil, just so I can draw 3 cards to have a chance at getting a kill spell that I need to end the game out here. But instead, I drew into, as my spell for turn, Courtesan Thace. So I flipped the Druid to activate that ability, play out Courtesan Thace, and then on Bobby's next turn, where I control him, I just move the Geomancer a step to deal that final point of damage. So that'll close out that game. This was a fun tournament. Like I said, we had about 15 people turn out for it. We've had a bit of a surge in new players locally, which is great to see. There's a lot of excitement for the game, and people are especially excited for Gothic coming out here in December. But that'll do it for this coverage on this tournament. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.